Hello, my beautiful kingdom. Is I, your king, here, back with another video. And back with another Dead by Daylight video. It's been a while since we've done like a Dead by Daylight video, and that's because I haven't been playing it. I think the last one I made was I was like in junior year of high school or something like that. I stopped playing that game immediately because I realized my obsession with the game was unhealthy. But I'm back to playing it now. I'm into it now. I love Dead by Daylight. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. And yeah, so I thought, why not? Let's make a Dead by Daylight video. Mostly because it's my birthday. So let's make a birthday video about one of my favorite games of all time. What better birthday video to make than a wishlist video? A while ago, this guy named Das Food, I think that's his name. Das Food. He made this video about essentially a template list or whatever that this guy on Twitter, The Walking Dead by Daylight, made, where it's essentially like 12 items are in the list, right? It's like 12 items in the list, and it's very specific, like a classic horror film or a modern horror film or something like that. It's just a bunch of topics about characters you'd want to see in Dead by Daylight. So I made that. So I thought, that's cool. I'm gonna do it. I made my own. And yeah, we're gonna get onto it. Because what's more birthday like than making a wish list. So anyway, we're gonna go in order, and we're gonna do this right. So, I guess first of all, it's a classic horror film, aka anything pre-2000s, and it's going to be hotly disputed. A bunch of people are going to say this should be like horror adjacent or something like that, but I don't care. It's Beetlejuice. I just feel like this would be funny, like incredibly funny. Like if we get like Freddy in there and all that, and like Hellraiser and freaking Silent Hill and all that, and all these other overpowered characters, I'm pretty sure we get Beetlejuice. I'm especially believe that his lore would be incredibly funny. Like it's literally just him and the entity fighting each other a lot. I think it'd be funny, man. I just think this has so much potential, like for so many powers too, and all that. Like it's obvious why the Beetlejuice should be in here. So now for a modern horror film, this is like one of my favorite modern horror films out there. It's A Quiet Place. Um, I think it would be awesome from the fact that we could have like a blind killer, and like the way I see it, sort of like he's a blind killer, right? However, there's certain actions that could give him sight again, right? So like if a character's running, you'll be able to see him, right? If like they're running close nearby, it's like a location you can see the loops and all that. And like I think like if like certain noises are made, like the killer could like teleport to them. Like I have like a bunch of many ideas for like how we can make a quiet place work that would be dope, right? It's like there's like so much potential there. They got Chucky to work. They can make this work too. Why not, right? It's like I said, there's like so much potential here. Next up for horror television, I got Scooby Doo. Um, yeah, like we've been asking for this for a while. I think like sure Scooby Doo's made for kids, but like for some reason a crap ton of adults like Scooby Doo. So you know what? Why not? Let's get Scooby Doo in here. Let's do that. Let's do it. Let's get the entire gang in here. Why not? So for horror game, I got Bendy and the Ink Machine. And like I plan on like having an entire video about how Bendy could work, right? No, sorry. I have like an entire video idea for like how Bendy could work, right? But essentially like the entire plan behind the powers you play as like Sammy Lawrence. By the way, this is based on the first game. I haven't played the Dark Revival. So yeah, this is based on the first game, and like there's like two different ideas I have for the power. One is based off of like the game theory that MatPat had a while ago, and one of them is based off of what I actually know. So first it's Sammy Lawrence, and essentially your power is Oni, where you collect ink off of other people or like the environment. Maybe you collect ink off of complete generators or something like that, and it goes into essentially an AI-powered ink demon Bendy, who gets more and more powerful the more ink you give to them. Right. That's the first power, and the second power is essentially you turn one of the characters into. Essentially, once you knock someone, you can either hook them or turn them into like a Bendy or like some sort of ink demon, right? And you can send them out to go kill people. And like they work for you now, and like they're powered by AI, and they could like do one person like their health state, right? Yeah, like that's my entire idea for that is just doing that essentially, just like turn it's either like you and like an AI powered ink demon are like teaming up against the survivors, or you turn one survivor into like a sort of ink monster demon thing. I think that'd be fun. So up next is a sequel chapter, and this one's obvious. Dungeons and Dragons. Like, there's so much like lore. Like, there's like so much lore, so many characters. Like, I haven't played Chris Strahd, but I hear Strahd is like the perfect is like another vampire character they could add there. Sure, we already have Dracula, the Dark Lord, but like, there's no harm in two vampire characters. Hell, make it three and add your own original vampire character, right? There's like so many ideas there. There's also the fact that they could just pull Ghostface and like use the Dungeons and Dragons IP to make their own original killers, right? Like, there's like so many directions we could go there. Like, there's so much potential that we cannot just stop at Vecna, the guy who was in Stranger Things. Like, we can't just stop there. We have to keep going with this. We can even have our own Demogorgons, right? We could have two Demogorgons in there, and that'd be funny. Like, that would just be funny, man. Like, there's more to be had. There's more potential to be had with the Dungeons and Dragons IP than just Vecna. Like, we could do better than that. Next up for celebrity, this is more of a placeholder name than anything. I got Robert England for like a celebrity we have in here, and like this is just supposed to be like, just in general, like horror icons, right? So like we could have Robert England in there. He could like have voice lines and all that. I personally chose Robert England because it would be funny to like see him go up against Freddy and just like the voice lines there, right? But, like, also we could sort of have, say, like Kane Hodder, right? The guy, I think that's his name, the guy who played Jason, like the guy who played Jason's body, right, and all that. The guy who played Jason, we could have him in there, right, as like a character, or like I don't know. I only know those two like by name, like by heart. Robert and Kane Hodder, like legit, just any horror celebrity, right? Because like we could like go the route of like having our Nick Cages, right, where it's like a bunch of celebrities that we know the face of and like would be funny to have in, or we could have like actual horror icons too, right? I respect that side of the fandom that is slowly denying that this game is horror based and not like horror adjacent, right? But yeah, nah, like like Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, whatever horror celebrity you want, yeah. So for anime and manga, I gotta go with like one of my favorite shows, Captain Laserhawk. And like this is really easy. We could have Laserhawk as a survivor. Maybe Rayman could get like a skin for like the white or something like that. We could put the skins on everyone, and like this could like genuinely happen, right? Like a Laserhawk like collab where like they're all outfits. Ideally, I'd love a survivor killer. But like if they're like we get all outfits, that's fine too. Like they've worked with Ubisoft before for like For Honor and stuff. They could do it again. But yeah, I think like Captain Laserhawk would be dope because Laserhawk would be a survivor, and then Sarah Fisher in like her spider form would like work incredibly well. Like as a killer, like I think like there's so much potential with like the way she would work and all that. Like out of everything I have on here, there's like only one other like IP, like three other IP. Actually a bunch of all these IPs work, but like this one works a lot. This one works like incredibly well. Like I could probably do like my own video on this as to why this would work and like it would be accurate, right? Like Laserhawk and Dead by Daylight behavior make it happen. So next up we got comic books, and this is like sort of like an obvious pick, but I chose Werewolf by Night mostly because I have this being like a genuinely sympathetic like killer, right? And like man thing, right? Where it's sort of like he's a killer who genuinely doesn't want to do this, right? Where like you have like the twins and all that who are forced to do this, right? Just like to be together and all that. And like you have the spirit who doesn't want to do this, but like she's like incredibly angry, right? And like the nurse, I forgot the nurse's lore, but I think like at first she didn't want to do this, and then they had her truly kill all those people in that mental hospital. So I don't know what's going on with nurse, but like this man thing could like genuinely be someone who doesn't want to do this and feels genuine sorrow every time he has to like do this, right? Like we could have that for man thing, and then we could have like all the other characters from Werewolf by Night. We could have like the actual werewolf like be like a skin and all that, right? And like that would actually be like incredibly interesting power where it's sort of like he gets like as soon as like all genres are completed, something like incredibly interesting happens, right? So it's in there, right, or something like that, or like just like having a werewolf survivor would like make all those perks I cannot speak today, sorry. Instantly interesting. Like just think about like for the merit of a werewolf survivor on its own, I think we should like make this happen. So next up for music, this was originally the guy who was going to put for celebrity until I realized that music meant like some sort of musician. So I sort of said have Tyler the Creator as like a survivor. Just for like the cosmetics you could sell alone, like he has his own clothing brand, Golf Wayne. So like there's like a bunch of shit you could do there, right? Where it's sort of like like so many outfits there. But like in terms of perks, like you have 3 perks relating to like 3 of his albums, right? And like the stories behind those, that would be incredibly funny. And, like the voice lines, like Nicolas Cage was like incredibly funny and like incredibly interesting in terms of perks and like voice lines and all that. I think it would be incredibly funny and interesting to have Tyler in here too. I think it would be. I'd love to see what they would do with Tyler the Creator in here. So now on to the last 3. First we have horror adjacent / non-horror. And for here I just put a picture of a Deathclaw. For those guys who have been on my channel for long enough, you guys should have seen this coming. I want Fallout in here. I think a Deathclaw would be amazing. Like would just be straight up amazing. Like an Alpha Deathclaw or something like that would just be like amazing, right? I have like this idea, like this is like the one I'm genuinely going to make a video for, like Dead by Daylight X Fallout, how that could work. But like for now I got like an idea for like a survivor that could work and like a killer Deathclaw, like a Deathclaw's power that could work. But yeah, I think like there's so much potential with like Fallout in here, right? Even if it's just cosmetics, like what they did with Attack on Titan, right? Like I think it would work. I think a Deathclaw and like just cosmetics and like whatever. I think Fallout / times Dead by Daylight could work. So next up for original chapter, I don't know if this counts or not, but I put the backrooms in here because I don't know how the legal works, like how legally this would work, right? But I'm pretty sure the backrooms is like open, like free for everyone. It's sort of like SCP where anyone can add anything, anyone can use anything for their own storytelling purposes, right? It's like an open source like copyright thing, right? Where like it's open ended, anyone can use anything, right? And I think the backrooms has so much potential, right? Like just beyond like Kane Pixels things. Like if you want to make a chapter solely based off of what Kane Pixels did, that's fine. However, like there's some like an interesting opportunity to tell something interesting, like to tell like an interesting like story and all that. Like this could be like the Ghostface, like what they did with Ghostface, where like they bought the rights to the mask but not Scream, and so they made their own killer outside of that, right? Like they could do that, but instead they like have the rights to a setting, and then they can make their own monsters, right? And like make their own lore behind what they think the backrooms is, and like how like the way I see it, it's sort of like the backrooms are sort of like the entity, right? Where like the backrooms and the entity are like buddies or something like that in that sense, and like they sort of regularly just go back and forth. Like the backrooms and here sort of like them visiting the entity and like having their own fun with their own killers, right? Like that's the way I sort of see it happening, right? Like behavior, if you happen to be listening to this and you didn't understand a single thing I said, because like, you know, like I said, I can't speak today and like I've been slurring my words all day, listen to this. There's so much potential with what you could do with the backrooms. Like sure, it's not scary, quote unquote not scary anymore, because, you know, adding more levels and implying that it's infinite and that there is no escape from the backrooms at all. Even when you thought you escaped, you probably didn't escape. You're probably just on another level 1 billion or something like that, right? Despite the fact that people are saying it's not scary anymore, the backrooms would make such a good freaking level, man. Like I'm telling you, there's like potential, man, with the backrooms. Like just add the backrooms into like it, like just like hear me out. The backrooms would be amazing. Take a shot for every time I've said backrooms in this section. You're gonna be fucking drunk, man. But yeah. There's like so much potential with the backrooms in here. Like just do it. Just like this is the one I want most out of everything I've said on here, over Captain Laserhawk, over Dungeons & Dragons, over Bendy and the Ink Machine. I want the backrooms. And now for honorable mentions. It's an honorable mentions for comic books. It's the Minor Threats. For those of you guys who don't know, Minor Threats is essentially just this comic book made by Patton Oswalt that's about a bunch of C-listers trying to kill Batman, because Batman is on a murdering spree, essentially. And I love it a lot because it's quite literally just Suicide Squad kill the Justice League if it was done right, where it's all these, we're rooting for the villains to survive the hero's onslaught, because the plot is simple. Robin dies, Batman goes insane, the Batman of this universe goes insane and starts killing people trying to find the Joker of this universe, essentially, and like all the other villains are suffering, right? So like it's interesting because like I could see like the Batman of that universe being a killer within Dead by Daylight, right? And like just that sort of like being an evil Batman, right? Which honestly, that in and of itself is interesting because we get evil Superman. Let's have an evil Batman, right? And I also can see like the perks for like each of the 4 main characters, like how those survivor perks can work well. Behavior, if you're listening to this, reach out to Patton Oswalt and like those guys. See if you can do that. See if you could get Minor Threats in here. Like, because I think that would genuinely be interesting if we could have like a superhero horror thing. Like, it wouldn't be Brightburn. Like, I feel like this would be like a much better fit for like superhero horror. If we want to like skip over like Werewolf by Night and all that, and you want to do like an actual superhero horror, I think Minor Threats would be dope. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this list. Happy birthday to me. If you enjoyed the video, congratulations, I guess, and see you next time. Bye.